Main man made man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. You know, looking at this confrontation between Kell Brook and Errol Spence Jr., I can't help but think, man, that there is a mutual respect between these two. A serious mutual respect. I can kind of feel it if you look at how they embrace one another, how they look at one another. There's some serious respect there, man. And as it should be. As it should be. You know, the one thing that never gets talked about with these two is that they have an extreme parallel career. I think I mentioned this in the past. They are going through very similar situations than what they, each other has been through. They've been through the same things in their careers. And this is the reason why I think they found each other and they respect each other so much. You think about it like this. When Kell Brook was coming up, right, in the WBO, and he reached the top spot, and he knew he had Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao up there, and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao would not give him a shot. Frank Warren, at the time whom Kell Brook was boxing for, did not have the clout, could not bring Manny Pacquiao to the table, and so Kell Brook was forced to leave Frank Warren and the WBO and move on over to Sky Sports, Eddie Hearn, and the IBF, where he was put in as a mandatory and able to get that fight with Sean Porter. And then he stood in the IBF where the names were very, very short. And he was forced to fight mandatories and fighters like JoJo Dan and Frankie Gavin. Well, you look at Errol Spence Jr. Very, very similar, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very similar. Because Errol Spence Jr. originally was coming up far in the WBC. For what reason or another, the WBC, maybe he didn't see a brighter future there, or he's seen himself not getting those big name fights no time soon. Whatever reason you want to believe, and I'll leave it at that. And he decided to go on over to the IBF, where he was placed as the #1 guy. And of course, he had to sit and wait for his opportunity and became the mandatory for that IBF title, in which he fought Kell Brook. He takes the title away from Kell Brook, and now he's in a position in the IBF where the names are short and cannot get a proper opponent. So he's forced to fight guys like Carlos Ocampo. You see where I'm going, ladies and gentlemen? That's usually the issue when you get that IBF at welterweight. It's like a ball and chain, man. You know what I mean? You become a world champion, you get all your heart's desire. You know what I mean? It's all great. Yet you can't get a big name fight because the IBF, quite honestly, no one's clamoring for it. You know, let's not forget, I don't remember the last time the IBF has even been in a unification match at welterweight. Now, let's see. Errol Spence got it now. Before him, it was Kell Brook. That didn't happen in the unification match. Before that, it was Sean Porter. I can't recall Sean Porter in the unification match. Before that, it was Devin Alexander, and I have to check that, but I can't recall offhand. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's rare. It's few and in between if the IBF is put in unification matches. So when you become IBF champion, man, you do get a tough time with attracting big names. And so, given that these two at one time stood at the IBF, and Kell Brook was forced to go up 2 weight classes to get a decent fight, you know what I mean? Because Keith Thurman wouldn't give him a shot, as the IBF champion. Danny Garcia wouldn't give him a shot. Sean Porter wouldn't give him a shot. And you see Errol Spence Jr., same thing. None of those fighters would give him a shot, and none of those fighters are willing to come over to the IBF. So they find each other. That's why there's a mutual respect there. And that's why when people say, well, Errol Spence Jr. is not going to come to Sheffield, my thing is, yes, Errol Spence Jr. is the A-side going into a rematch. No doubt about it. But the money is in Sheffield. The money is not in Dallas, unfortunately. Now, it seems to me that Errol Spence Jr. is more lasered in on, look, I'd rather make the check. At least that's what he told Kell Brook. I'll come to Sheffield if the money is there. Eddie got the money. That's the respect level. I respect you enough to know that if you got that bag, I'll come back over to your backyard, even though I made you quit in the first fight. But there's still speculation about that fight. There's still fans, ladies and gentlemen, that are sitting back, that are debating one another like, yo, if Kell Brook, I wouldn't have went out. Yo, if the weight, just that in the third, yo, that fight would have been maybe a little different. You know what I'm saying? Even Errol Spence Jr. fixated on Kell Brook's weight. I find that very, very funny because he's trying to say, well, Kell Brook, I'm just as big as you. I had to cut just as much weight as you is. The difference is that I was staying ready while you had to get ready. Kell Brook had to come down from that 160 weight class all the way back down to 147. So Errol Spence Jr. is on a mission to make the point that, yo, I'm just as big as you, and I had to make the same damn sacrifices. But the only difference is Kell Brook had a bad eye. I don't think it was the weight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm well on record saying that. I think it was the eye, not the weight. But the fact is, these dudes can't get fights because they're too high risk and in low reward. In Kell Brook's case, he's not a low reward guy because Eddie Hearn was willing to throw the bag to anyone who was willing to come to the UK. So he wasn't that low of reward. I still didn't understand why Keith Thurman, why Amir Khan, why Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather, why Danny Garcia, why these guys were hesitant to get in the ring with Kell Brook when they knew the bag was there. In Errol Spence's case, the bag may not be there right now. Now, his popularity is growing, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. But he's still high risk, low reward to a lot of fighters. It puts them in the same category, ladies and gentlemen. And who knows? This may lead to them finding one another once again. Maybe this is the reason why Kell Brook stated that, yo, we don't need a belt to get it on. Because at the end of the day, we got respect for one another. The fans know the type of fight that we put on in the first fight. And, yo, at the end of the day, what else you gonna do? What else are you gonna do, Errol Spence Jr.? Now, if Errol Spence Jr. don't want to go up to 54 and come back down in weight, which is never smart, I totally get it. And I don't think the IBF will penalize him for it. They didn't penalize Brook for going up to 60 and coming back down to 147. So I don't think there'll be much penalty. I don't know if they'll penalize him much for it. But however, I believe when Brook went up to 160, he was fighting for that IBF title, and he's the IBF champion at 47. So I don't know if that will matter or not, given that Brook doesn't have the IBF title at 54. But still, the point I'm making is, they forgave him. They let him keep his title. So if they were allowed Errol Spence Jr. to go to 54, keep his title at 47, and decide what he wants to do afterwards, why is that a bad decision? I think this is a more reckless decision on Kell Brook's part, because Kell Brook is a little too gassed up, in my opinion, by the Rabchenko fight. I still think there are open questions on my main man, Brook. I don't think the eye's been tested. I don't think his will has been tested. I don't know where he's at mentally. I don't know where he's at physically, because the Rabchenko fight tells me nothing. Kell Brook is a very, very good salesman, ladies and gentlemen. I like my main man, Kell Brook, a lot, but sometimes you just don't know, because Kell Brook like that bag too. And he'll tell you, oh, I'm fine. Oh, the weight's great. Oh, the eye's all good. We ready to roll. And technically, this dude could be broken up. So I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I'm not sold. I think Kell Brook needs a couple more fights at 54, more convincing fights. He needs to get in there with a big puncher. He is now the WBC silver champion or whatever at 54, making him the mandatory to Charlo. That, you need to be worrying about that right there, bro. Get through Charlo. Get through Charlo. Like Spence saying, get that belt. You get through Charlo, Brook. Get that WBC title. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Of course, Charlo will have about a year or so before they make that Mando. But getting still, man, like, goddamn, man, I think Kell Brook needs to go after that fight first. Well, first take another good touch, then go after Charlo. If he makes it through Charlo and he's not, and Hurd or whoever else is not looking to unify, guess what, man? Bring up Errol Spence Jr. He may even bring up Errol Spence Jr. before unification, because it's that big of a fight now. And it's been raised to that level of a big fight because Kell Brook is trying to make it happen. He's been calling out Errol Spence since he came back to boxing. Don't give me that it's an act crap, because if you look in Kell Brook's past, this is a normal thing. He has always called out fighters. I don't see anything out of the ordinary here for Kell Brook. So for anybody who may think that this is an act or any sort of thing, no, that's crap. I don't think so. That man came by himself, solo dolo, without Eddie Hearn, and letting it be known, all you 154 fighters whom I know y'all are in the building, I'm in the building too, and I flew over the water to be here. And I'm looking for Errol Spence Jr. That is what warriors do, man. This is why I mess with Kell Brook so tough. This is why I mess with him so tough. I think he gives a lot of people at 54 a lot of problems if his health holds up, which is still the remaining burning question. And it will be a fool for Eddie Hearn to throw Kell Brook in there with Errol Spence Jr. right now. I think they're laying the foundation to a future fight that could be just as big as the first fight, especially if each man continues to win. I love how these two found each other, man. Real talk. I got major respect for both fighters. I have major respect for both fighters and how they approach one another. Now, I got to also give it up to Kell Brook for getting Errol Spence on record, stating that, yo, you're willing to come on over to Sheffield if the check is right, without a belt. That was the whole mission of Kell Brook right there. You see how he was smiling in front of those cameras when Errol Spence Jr. said that, like, yo, y'all hear that, right? You know what I mean? When Errol Spence Jr. like, hold up, we got some things to talk about, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, man, I love how these two found each other. I love how Kell Brook is showing the heart of a warrior. So is Errol Spence Jr. I think people are really, really undercutting Kell Brook by saying he has no chance against fighters like Charlo, which I think is totally off base with Charlo with 15 KOs. You know what I mean? I think people are way off right there. I think people are way off when they say he can't compete with Saddam Ali. I think Kell Brook is in the mix with all of them. I think Kell Brook's biggest nightmare is Jared Swift-Hurd, stylistically right now. Stylistically, I think Jared Swift-Hurd poses a problem for Kell Brook, and that's just my opinion. But everybody else, I think they're fair game if Kell Brook health holds up, including Errol Spence Jr. So respect to both fighters, respect to both fighters, respect to both fighters. Until the next video, Main Man, Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Main Man, Made Man Boxing Forum. Google Plus, Main Man, Made Man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love how Errol Spence Jr. just kind of gave off his weight. What? Kell Brook, you what, 175? They say you walk around at 175. Man, what a scale at? Basically trying to let everybody know 175 ain't nothing. I'm walking around at 180 something plus, maybe 190. It got me thinking like, yo, Earl, do you know the more you talk like that, brother, the more it makes you not look good. It makes you look more of a weight bully. I mean, goddamn, bro, how much weight are you cutting? And how long can you continue to cut that much weight? That's all I'm asking, man. Like, goddamn, bro, like you like 175. That ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Where's the scale at? Like, yo, I'm pushing 185, 190. You know what I mean? They ask, he's trying to stand in front of the reporter like, yo, who looks the biggest? They're like, oh, Kell Brook looks thicker. Oh, well, you know, I'm training for a fight in June, so that's why. Bro, why are you trying to adamantly make the point that you are the bigger fighter? And I guess you're trying to stress you had to cut more weight. But, bro, you fight at 147 and you run around telling people you win 180 or 190 plus, whatever. It's not a good look. And somebody need to tell Errol Spence Jr. that, real talk. So to the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.